Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Today I want to talk about probably one of the most, either you hate him or you love him types of players in NBA history, in Russell Westbrook, guys. Seriously, when it just comes down to it, I really rarely see anybody that's in between on this man. You either think he's a big-time leader, a guy that puts up crazy numbers, or you think he's a glorified stat patter, right? So you guys let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Russell Westbrook before we get into this video? Also, I am using a brand new camera with a brand new microphone. If the microphone ends up sounding like trash, I will probably go back to my old one. But the camera is kind of nice, man. So I've had it for a week now, and I was just if I don't find an excuse to use it for a video, I am probably going to actually lose my mind. So yes, as we all know, Russell Westbrook is on the Washington Wizards, a team that's been doing very good as of late. And another side storyline that always goes with Russell Westbrook is the whole triple-double story. One of the stats that I actually read earlier was that he could literally average 0 across the board for the entire season. He would still average a triple-double, man, which is crazy to think about. Absolutely crazy. I started watching basketball 2003-2004 season. And just the idea of triple-doubles at the time, I mean, they would occasionally happen, and when they did, it was talked about on SportsCenter and all that stuff, right, man? But rarely did they happen. If they were to happen, it would be one of those crazy games that LeBron James would have or something like that. But Russell Westbrook literally does this on a nightly basis. And the biggest gripe with Russell is that, a lot of people just think that what he does doesn't make basketball teams better. And, I guess you can look at that and you can kind of make a case for it based off if you lean, more towards the stat padding side of things. Because, yeah, if you're stat padding, then you grabbing that rebound, you going for that shot or whatever might not be the most optimal choice at the time. And while sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out, and the times it doesn't work out can obviously cost a game. But I look at his stats this year with the Washington Wizards, man. He's averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists per game. His three-point shot's actually up to roughly 31%. His overall field goal efficiency is down this year. It's down to about 44%. But that's actually above his career average, which is actually about 43%. So, he's never really been the most efficient guy out there. He's had some really good seasons. I actually look towards that 2018-2019 season where he played with Paul George, and Paul George was actually having a top 5 MVP caliber season. To me, that was the best Russell Westbrook we've ever actually seen out there. A more composed guy, a guy that knows when to become explosive and attack the basket, and also a guy that knew when to pull it back. And hey, having Paul George out there, one of the best catch-and-shoot guys in the NBA, dish it over to him, and you're good to go, right, man? But this season, the season started off pretty rough for the Washington Wizards. Going into it, I did have them as I was saying a 5th or 6th seed. Once Westbrook was on the team, I thought it was a good move. I thought getting a guy like that for John Wall, who has not really played for them for the past 2 seasons, I thought was a really good move, man, and I really saw the case of it working out with Bradley Beal, and the struggles were there early on. But even watching Russell this year, watching Bradley Beal, Beal is a top shooting guard in the NBA. Scoring-wise, I believe he has the highest points per game this season. I don't know if that's changed as of late, but last time I checked, that was the case, at around 31 points per game. To me, those guys really were not the issue. I thought the biggest parts of it were, for one, you had Davis Bertans out there who just got paid $80 million. That is a lot of money for a guy that just shoots three-pointers. Yes, he does that very, very well, but, if you score 2 3-pointers, that's 6 points. That's what math class told me, at least. If you do that, but on the side, you can't really play defense, you're giving up 10 points or whatever, then, you're still kind of taking the L right there. And Davis Bertans, great 3-point shooter, absolutely sniper. He has those games where he goes up for 7, 8 threes or whatever. That's really nice, but the defense can really hurt. A guy that's not really played since January, but going back to last season, you just know it's within Thomas Bryant. The worst defensive center in the NBA. This guy is just not good like that, right? So there was other issues with the team. Denny Avila, his fit, early on they tried making him a spot-up 3-point shooter. That's not his game. He's more so of a point forward out there, you might say. That's kind of how he played Euroball and everything. So that's not really worked out. So, that kind of has you question the draft pick. But even at that time, that was before they got Russell Westbrook. So how exactly did they know that? Denny Avila was a very talented player. He really fell in the draft, too. I believe they got him at 9th or something like that. But no, man, beyond that, I just think there was bigger issues with this team. And the biggest turning point for Russell Westbrook and the Wizards this season is when they got guys like Daniel Gafford and Chandler Hutchison, and when, Rui Hachimura really kind of started breaking out a little bit more, man, using his athleticism. Now, to me, that is the type of guys that excel next to Russell. You need guys that can run up and down the court with him. That's just how it is. Like, that guy, he wants to push the basketball. He wants to get assists. If you can slash to the basket and knock down your three-point shots, chances are you are going to be pretty damn solid next to Russell Westbrook. Like, and also, you don't mind giving up a rebound here and there, but that's whatever, right? So, yeah, man, as far as Russell being overrated, I mean, it really depends on... Okay, you got to think about it this way. Let's say you replace Kemba Walker on the Celtics with Russell Westbrook. Is that going to work? In that case, I don't really think it does. I don't think a guy... because I feel like a guy like Russell Westbrook... this is also coming from a guy that also doesn't think that Kemba Walker is exactly the best fan of the Boston Celtics either. But, it's so hard to say. You don't really know what type of Russell you're going to get. If you get more 2019 Russell, that does work with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But if you get more, so like, what was that, 2015, 2016 Russell Westbrook averaged like 32 points per game, then that doesn't really work because chances are the efficiency is not the highest, and you got guys like Jalen and Jason not taking shots, and that's really going to hurt the team in the grand scheme of things. But I feel like what we currently see with Russell Westbrook on the Wizards totally works, man. Because he knows, like, he's cool being that second option. That's what Russell needs to be. He needs to be a second or third option, right, man? On a winning team. I mean, he could be number one. We've seen that with the, OKC Thunder, average the triple-double, put up the crazy numbers. Team might get the 8th seed and then get eliminated in the first round. Like, we've seen that version of Russell Westbrook. So I don't necessarily think that Russell is an overrated player. I think that Russell, as a player in general, kind of holds the keys towards the success of his team, and that is a lot of power for one player to have. You got plenty of guys out there that it doesn't matter if they play good or bad. If they play bad, yes, it's going to have an impact. If they play good, yeah, it's going to have an impact. But like literally, the style that Russell plays could decide the entire NBA season. It could decide the whole just like course of that franchise and everything, man. And I just feel like as of late, he's done a fantastic job just being that dude next to Bradley Beal that can get that triple-double, but does it just like in a way that's leading to W's. And I'm still going, like, okay, obviously they're not going to be like a 5th or 6th seed now in the Eastern Conference, but I'm still going by my original statement and saying that the Washington Wizards are not going to be a team you want to see come playoff time, man. That's not going to be a team you want to see. I mean, it's one of the most dynamic backcourts out there. And once again, the way that Westbrook plays and the way that Bradley Beal plays complements each other absolutely perfectly, man. So, I don't know. People say that I'm a Russell Westbrook hater. I don't like to think I am. I've said plenty of positive things about him in the years. I have said my share of negative things. To me, that's not a hater. That's not a lover. That's just an unbiased opinion. That's just looking at a basketball player, right, man? So, yeah. And as far as this season goes, like, let's say they don't make the playoffs. I think they do, or at least the play-in tournament. Let's say they're a first-round exit, though. Do you look to trade Russell, or do you continue to try to build, the team around him and Bradley Beal? And I think there's at least potential for another 2 or 3 solid seasons right there of building around Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, and having an entire offseason to do so definitely helps. I would at least try it for one more season, man. And, I love Rui Hachimura at the 4 spot. I mean, looking at his defensive efficiency, you can see he's not the greatest defensive player out there, but I do think there's room for improvement right there. But I just think he's a nice guy that could be that knockdown three-point shooter, catch and shoot type of guy, but also slash to the basket. Guys like that are perfect, like I said, next to Russell. They can really go for a really big-time 3-and-D play for that 3 spot. Obviously, that helps out a lot, too. And the center position, I think, is going to be, like, the biggest point. Now, Daniel Gafford, I actually think, has potential to be a really, really solid NBA center. So if they do want to go on him next season and start him, I'm completely fine with that. But, I really think Thomas Bryant really should not be back on the team. Davis Bertans, I mean, he's good situational, man. And I really know it's tough to have, like, an $80 million six-man off your bench, but I think if there's a case to once again surround that 4 spot with a 3-and-D type of guy, then that's only going to make the Washington Wizards that much better going forward. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about Russell? I mean, are you like immune to the triple double? Do you look at that and just be like, yeah, that's what Russell does? Which, if that's how we think, that is just insane, man. Triple doubles are cool. They're cool, man. I mean, you really think about it, bro. Like, and I think it was Colin Cowherd I was recently listening to, or somebody like that. Maybe it was somebody on ESPN, I don't remember. But regardless, they were just like, what exactly is a triple-double? I mean, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, or whatever it is. It's just like a number, it's like just the number 10. It's a nice round number, but it doesn't really mean anything. But what really does mean stuff to me is when a guy drops 21 points and 24 assists and like 11 rebounds. To me, that means something, man. That's something not everybody in the NBA could do, or they definitely would do it. So, I don't know. I would love to see Russell get to an NBA Finals. I really would. But at the same time, too, man, like, there's so much talent in the NBA, and I feel like that's what really holds back Russell Westbrook. It seems like every single night I see a new story about, like, so-and-so dropped 50 points, so-and-so dropped, 52 points or whatever, man. It's absolutely crazy the amount of talent, and I think sometimes appreciation for the game of basketball and some of the things people do out there just gets lost in the shuffle there, and I think Russell Westbrook is definitely one of those cases. Like, I feel like if this guy was playing, back in, like, early 2000s, we'd be talking about him as, like, one of the greatest point guards of all time. And I don't really know where you guys have him ranked. As far as point guards, I would need a list to really give you guys a good answer right there. But I think he's definitely a guy we take for granted just based off of all the talent in the NBA right now. And as we should too. We should put a lot of stock into winning games and having success. And Russell doesn't really have that type of resume. It definitely is stat-based. But I know recently I saw a video talking about Westbrook versus Allen Iverson, man. And, Iverson had that one crazy run where he got to the NBA Finals, took a game from that super team Los Angeles Lakers. And that's kind of how we remember Iverson, as a guy that put a team on his back. And Westbrook's very similar as a guy that knows how to put a team on his back. I just think he needs that one deep playoff run with him being the main guy. I understand he got to the finals before, but that was a young Westbrook. That was a guy that was playing with a young Kevin Durant and James Harden. I feel like if he could make that push this season and just do something just out of nowhere with Bradley Beal, that would just do so much for his legacy, man. I feel like we just need to see that from him. So, he's a great player. And I don't know, man. I like him. He's ferocious. I still remember the first game I watched him play was like literally his rookie season, and he had like 4 Tomahawk Jams against Detroit. And I was just like, oh my God, who is this? I liked his name because his name was Russell Westbrook. And at the time, my favorite football player was Brian Westbrook from the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was like, hey, I like that, man. So, yeah, you guys give me your thoughts about Russell in the comment section below. If you guys want more NBA discussions like this, I would love to do them. So, leave a like on this video. Be sure to drop that like. I just said that. Yeah, man. See, I'm not doing 2K, so I'm all thrown off now. Be sure to drop that like. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I guess the end of the video, is Russell Westbrook overrated? I think he's properly rated. I think there's good things and bad things about him. But I think there's more things we take for granted. That's all I got, man. Peace out.